Welcome to Half a Point, the episode that saw Carlton pull off the upset against West Coast, pull up the upset as Dogs go to their house and take the win, and also the podcast that called the Mighty Saints to come marching in and deliver against the Cats. They get the win. What a second half that was! Scintillating
Mm,
stuff. The Cats stumbled towards the end. Yeah, huge round of footy. Cuss, welcome. What do you
thank
think
you.
about how's that round? What do you think about that?
Well, it's always a good round when Carlton win. Nah, it was a good round of footy, bit of ladder movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to see. Good to see.
Yeah, it's a good round. We actually both losing weeks, so even though we're smiling, we actually had shocking weeks.
Terrible, yeah.
You went 1-4, I went 2-3. So my streak's on the line. I have to have a winning week this week, or else it'd be heartbreaking if it just breaks in the last week. That would suck.
Yeah,
But
it's
you
true.
go 1-4. So now looking at the records, I'm 64-51. I'm still in the lead by two. You're on 53 and 62. You're not last still. DJ's last. Come on, DJ.
Yeah.
But I think the race at the bottom's almost as intriguing as the race at the top.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Yeah. What we should have done at the start of the year is
The
have like a
forfeit.
fun, yeah, no, like have like a the person that comes last, like do like a funny dare or something like they do in fantasy
Yeah,
league.
yeah.
That would be funny, but all right. Maybe next season.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, so yeah, last week of the home and away season, it'll be our last chance to bet on a few of these teams. So obviously, we're going to jump on those opportunities. So we'll recap last round's footy. Cuss, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, so we start with Essendon and Sydney. So Essendon got demolished pretty much after half time. The game was over. They sort of just gave up, eh?
Mm,
Didn't really play for anything. It was a whole Dyson Heppels last time at home. Didn't even get
mm,
to play though. Absolutely stitched up there. And then they brought him in for this game this week while they're playing
yeah,
at the Gabba.
yeah. I don't
Um,
know about that. Yeah, a
bit
bit
weird,
weird.
but
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Gold Coast, Melbourne, Melbourne. Man, I don't know. I don't know, man. That's on me for putting my money on Gold Coast as a 15.5 point. That's on me. I don't
yeah.
know. But congrats to Melbourne. That was a great win.
Mm.
Last week I accidentally said that Gold Coast are a couple of wins away from 13 wins. They're not. I don't know what I was talking about. I don't know what I was talking about. They're actually on 10 wins.
Yeah.
And their win total at the start of the year was 10.5, and I had the over, so I'll be rooting for them this week against Richmond.
Mm.
Then the Giants and Freo went pretty much perfectly, just like we said. Freo cover but lose. It was a pretty good game. Like Giants sort of held that lead throughout. So yeah, close loss. Another close loss for Freo.
Yeah.
Moving on, Collingwood, Brisbane. What a game, man! How good Stay man. I love him. I love him so much, bro.
Yeah. Did well. Did well.
Um, yeah, huge comeback. Like they were dead in the first half, and
Yeah,
then yeah,
absolutely.
just that last gasp. All for nothing in the end, but still good to see that one last time.
Bit of
Just a
fight
nice,
left in the season, yeah.
yeah, just a good way to end the season.
Yeah.
And Port Adelaide and Adelaide finally the Crows let me down. Finally, it's the first time since we started this. You know, I'm not even mad to be honest. Like
Yeah.
Crows were the spot in that situation. 15.5 and a rainy day. They were leading for
Mm.
most of the game and sort of stuffed it all up in the last quarter. But you take it. They killed it Geelong, just like we said in the opener, mate. I thought I was dead at the start, and then the same game. Why can't they play like that every week? They cut them up. That was
Yeah, they
really
did.
impressive. That was probably the best offensive footy I've seen all season. Like I like the run and carry stuff that the Hawks do. It's really good to watch, and even
Hmm.
us at the Pies. But man, I love that just the opening up the holes, like getting through the zone. That to me, I like that kind of footy more.
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened with the Bulldogs in North?
Doggies in North. Doggies came away with it way too easily. I thought, I kept looking at the scoreboard and I was like, oh, surely they close it down a little bit or just stop the scoring. Nah, the score just kept flooding in.
Yeah,
Yeah, demolished there by like 96 points, I think. 94 points, something like that.
yeah, huge.
Hawthorn come away with the win against Richmond. Pretty easy one there.
But
it's gonna happen.
we were talking
Hawthorn,
about this last week. Hawks come as big favorites as well. They're breaking
yeah,
every trend, mate.
exactly. Yeah,
Jesus,
they're doing so well, eh?
unbelievable.
And then West Coast and Carlton come away with a 65-point win. The Blues are back, baby. The Blues
Are,
are
are they back? I don't know, man. I have a bunch to say about this game. Who's the interim coach? Schofield?
I have no idea
I
what
don't
he's
know
doing
who he
for.
is. He should remain that way. He should remain a no
Yeah,
name.
he was
He should
shocking.
not get that job. You cannot be outcoached by Voss in that. Voss outcoached him, and Voss is not a tactics guy. Like
Yeah.
fair fucks to Voss. Like he's a good coach, but he's not a tactical masterpiece. This guy tried cutting him up with like a kick to mark game. What are you doing? Just
Yeah.
run all over him. What? I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know how you get outcoached in that
With an
spot. And at
undermanned
least
team, like I thought it would be a lot closer. I was glad to come away with a win there, but it's what it is. You know,
100%. Like
I'd take that any day of the week.
that's a terrible performance by West Coast. So
Yeah.
whatever. We move on to the next week. Yeah, so we touched on the records. I hold a 2 game lead still on course. Unashu closed down by 1, so still up for grabs. I think it's pretty much a 3-man race now. Really, it's me cause Unashu. One of us is going to win it.
Yeah.
But as I said, the race at the bottom's
Exactly.
quite
Keeping it
funny as
tight.
well. Yeah. All right. Round 24, final round of the home and away season. A lot to get in. This round for me is I hate this round because all the trends that happen in like every other round don't really apply because there's so many permutations and combinations. Like I don't know, I don't know who is motivated. I don't know who's given up.
Yeah.
It's so hard to pick. So I don't know. I've made my picks, but I'm not really confident in a lot of them. But alas, we have to make them. So opening up with Melbourne, Collingwood at the G tonight, starting in a couple of hours. Uh, Melbourne are 4.5 point dogs. Last time these guys played was Queen's birthday. Pies were 2.5 point favorites and ended up blowing out by 38 points. I was on Melbourne that game because it was I think it might have been the week after they got belted by Freo. So I thought it was a perfect
Mm.
bounce back for Melbourne, but yeah, they just were dismal. So this was bouncing. This was open around 9, I think. And all the
Yeah.
ones coming from Melbourne. So I was actually on Collingwood at the start, but then the line movement sort of scared me off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, I thought Melbourne might have actually been on the side, might have been the side. So maybe if they were 6.5, I might have been on them, but just decided to stay away from it because there was too much confusion there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, what's your read on this?
Look, I've gone with the pies on this one. Just because there were a lot of picks that I didn't like, that I like just didn't want to go on, and sort of
Okay.
use this as like my least confident pick here.
Mhm.
I think just watching them last week, how they moved the ball a little bit, it was really nice to see, and that could very much just carry over to this week. Melbourne, we know how they've been playing recently. So yeah, I've just decided to go with the pies here.
Yep, fair enough. I'm shocked at this number. I can't believe it's so low, but
Mm,
yeah, it's a tasty one.
yeah.
But yeah, don't really hate the price because I said I was on them at the start of the week. Moving on to Geelong West Coast. So the line is 58.5. I actually checked a couple of hours ago. Oh my God, it's at 64.5 now. Oh,
64.
64 and a
Wow.
half. So
Okay.
that's the biggest line all season long.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
All right.
Yeah, so this game didn't get moved. So there's actually a
Few games. Yeah.
few games that got moved. AFL scheduling this week is absolutely terrible. How could you have a potential
Shocking.
dead rubber
Yeah.
as a last game? What are you doing?
Yeah.
This like, and you're moving games around right before. It's anyway. I digress. So
Shocking. Yeah.
the line for the contest is 58.5. Geelong obviously favourites. So the first time they're matching up this season, it's at GMHBA. It feels like a blowout. It feels like Geelong's going to blow them out just by how many is the question. Yeah. What do you think?
Look, I saw the line earlier in the week.
Mm,
And I was like, it's pretty high, and I was
mm,
like, maybe that's just a game that I stay away with. But then I saw the lineups where Eagles have lost Witherden, McGovern, Gaff, and Ryan. A lot of
mm.
experience there for a bunch of new kids to come in. And then seeing the line move even more up to 64. So I'm glad I've jumped on the Cats here. So they're one of my picks for this week. Although it's a very big line. I just think the way their new coach is coaching, West Coast coach,
Mm.
um, doesn't really have an idea what he's doing. And yeah, so I'm jumping on the Cats.
Yep, that's it's fair enough. I for me, I'm staying away from this. But yeah, I don't love it, but I'd be on the Cats if I was on it. So yeah, don't mind your pick. Yeah, 58.5 is a huge number. So it's the biggest one we've seen all season.
Mm.
So the Cats, I think, have to win by 10 goals to overtake the Giants and 20 goals to overtake Port on percentage. So
Ooh.
I think there's a permutation. So I think that's why this number's so high. Yeah, you can't put a dime on West Coast at the moment. Yeah, gone from favorites to 60-point dogs is
Yeah,
quite
big
insane.
turnaround.
So yeah, what do West Coast have to get to cover like 70 points, maybe 80? I don't
Yeah.
know. Do I see that
Mm.
happening? I don't know. I really
Probably
don't.
not.
So
Yeah.
yeah, don't mind your pick at all.
Hmm.
All right, moving on to Richmond Gold Coast. Richmond are 10.5 point dogs at the MCG. Um, So they versed early in the season, and I think Richmond lost convincingly to the Suns. I think the line might have been 4.5 or something, but yeah, that's when Gold Coast were. I think it was opening round actually. Yeah, Gold Coast were flying. So yeah, for this one, I'm not on it, but I definitely lean Richmond. The number is just too low for me. If it was at like 15 to 18, I'd be on Richmond, but at 10, I still think they're probably the side. Just fading Gold Coast away from home. Yeah, after their performance last week, just you can't really trust them,
Yep.
even at home apparently. So yeah, I'd be on Richmond, but I'm not on it. I'll be rooting for Gold Coast though, so the over win total hits.
Mm.
I might bet Richmond and start and hopefully they cover and Gold Coast win. So I hit a nice little middle and win
Yeah.
both bets. So that's probably how I'll play this. What
Mm.
about you?
Yeah, well said. I would have jumped on Richmond if they were a little bit higher.
Mm.
But yeah, just thought I'd stay away from this one as well.
Mhm.
Big farewell game for a few of the Richmond boys, a few premiership heroes. So yeah, just a game that I thought I'd stay away from. Bit dangerous here, Gold Coast. So yeah.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Again, last round, you have just no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Hawks, North Melbourne, moved to 12:30 now, and they're playing in Tassie. The line is 52.5, which is insane. It's now at 56.5.
Mhm.
Jesus Christ. So,
Damn.
they last time they played Hawks were 19.5 point favorites and blew them out by 45. That was the first one of the season, I believe.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, what do you think's going to happen for this game?
Well, it's the Mighty Hawks, eh? I think, look, they blew them out by 45 points last time, and that was like their first win, I believe. I think, was
Mhm.
it their first win? Yeah. So they
Yep.
started 0-5. And to win by 45, pretty good effort there. This matchup, I'm not too sure. Once again, like, they have the potential to do it, absolutely. It is North Melbourne, so they have good games, they have really bad games. I think this one they'll just keep a little bit close. But yeah, just decide to stay away from this one. Not really too sure about
Another
it.
stay away for you.
Yeah,
I'm on North Melbourne.
really?
Yep.
Wow. Yeah,
Have to be a North Melbourne. The
yeah,
line moving up scares me. I
yeah.
think this opened in the 40s, so all the money's been on the Hawks.
Mm,
But I really didn't care what the number was in this. I was going to be a North. I'm not calling upset, but I'm calling this to be a mighty close game.
yeah,
I
yeah.
just think everything there, Clarko, the Sam Mitchell, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
in Tasmania. It's a bit weird. The times change. I don't know. Like I just have a this game's gonna be way closer than people think, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm officially putting the Hawks on upset alert.
Oh.
I will not be calling upset, but I'm putting the Hawks on upset alert. I feel like they win by like under 10 points.
Yeah, and look, they've lost Will Day this week, and we know how big he's been for
Huge
their
loss.
like midfield.
Yeah, huge loss.
Huge, yeah, absolutely
Yeah.
huge loss there.
Yeah.
So yeah, see how that turns out. Good luck,
Yeah.
mate.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I'll be needing it. I'm betting on North Melbourne. Um, Brisbane, Brisbane Essendon, Saturday night at the Gabba. Congratulations, Dyson Heppel, on a great career. Couldn't taste a final, but it's all right. Um, Brisbane are 36.5 point favorites at home. I am not on this, so I'm just going to retire as the Essendon Whisperer. That's take the 4-0, the last four Essendon games I've chosen, and take it to next season. Yeah, I was actually on Essendon for most of the week, but um, I don't know. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I think at the end of last year against Collingwood, they were 30-point dogs again, and then they had given up at that point. And so I'm sort of afraid that similar thing will happen this week. Also, we've mentioned before on the pod how Brisbane are quite poor as favorites at the Gabba. They don't really cover. They win, but they don't cover. I mean, they're gonna cover one of them, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, I was just too scared to be honest, and I wasn't gonna be on Brisbane ever really.
Mm.
So yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, look, not too much confidence going into this game here.
Mm-hmm.
Just the game that I've decided to stay away from.
Mm-hmm.
You know, big farewell game to Dyson
Mm-hmm.
this week over at the Gabba. And like you said, Brisbane haven't been doing too well as favourites at home. So
Yep.
yeah, just yeah, good. I hope I was on Brisbane like towards the start of the week.
Mm.
When I saw the match up. But yeah, just thought I'd retract that.
Yep, that's fair. Moving on to Sydney versus Adelaide, Saturday 7:40 at the SCG. Last time they played was in Adelaide. Sydney were 19.5 point favorites and covered. Hold on, I led that game, of course.
Mm.
But they lost by 40. That's when Dolomite kicked nine, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I'm scarred by this game. What do you think's going to
Hmm.
happen?
Yeah, look, they've got Adelaide have got a few big losses with Rochelle and Rankin out.
Well,
So
Raffelli omitted.
yeah,
Yep,
admitted. A
yep.
bit weird that one there. So
Yeah,
what are your
yep.
thoughts on that?
I I actually don't mind it. I actually like it by by the Crows. I think it's a
Mm,
good move. Just to sort of, I know they're making an example out of a young player, but just to sort of say, mate, it's not all about you.
yeah,
And sort of we take it seriously. I actually like it by the Crows. Yeah. What do you
yeah.
think?
No, fair enough. At first, I was sort of like, oh, they have like the whole rivalry going on, the showdown.
Mm,
Just allow it. It's not that deep.
yeah.
I'm sure he means it with like he's not trying to insult anyone, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, I see what they mean, like what they stand for as a footy club.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw Rory Laird spoke out a bit as well.
Didn't
Um,
like that. That was not good.
yeah, that was a bit, that
Yeah.
was unnecessary, I reckon.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, with this game. Sydney, I thought Sydney would rest quite a few players, given that they've pretty much locked the number one spot. It's
Yep.
almost impossible for them to lose it.
Yep.
But yeah, I've jumped on Swans here just because of the lineups. I think, um, they're two big losses there, for Adelaide.
Hmm.
And Sydney have only strengthened their lineup with Warner coming in. So
Hmm.
yeah, I've jumped on Sydney for this game.
Yep. Mate, what podcast are we, mate?
Yeah, I know.
A Sydney Swans podcast. Give me the Swans. Give me the Swans.
Mate, you trying to bait me out here. I was like, oh, here we go. I'm gonna
No,
hear
no,
it.
no. Give me the Swans to cover. Look, I was on the same wavelength as you. I was hoping Sydney would announce a bunch of guys resting,
Yeah.
and the number would come all the way down to like 15 or like
Mm,
12 or something, and then I'd
yeah.
be on Sydney at that number because I love that spot. But unfortunately, no, they're not resting him, so I hate the number, but I just think Adelaide are done for the year. Like I
Yeah.
think the showdown was their last sort of hurrah, and then now I think the players have checked out. A lot of off-field stuff as well. They don't
Mm,
really have any motivation. Like they're not gonna like spoil a party or anything like that.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm on Sydney as well. I don't know why this number's so low. It gives me confidence in that the pros must like the Crows, but I don't know. I'm on
Yeah.
Sydney.
Fair enough.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, at home. Yeah, just to string together a performance before finals. I think. Yeah, they're the side.
Mm,
All right, moving on to the Western Bulldogs and the GWS Giants. 12:30 on a Sunday in Ballarat. This is another gripe I have with the AFL. Why are you putting an important round 24 game in Ballarat? Are you serious?
Yeah,
Oh man,
unbelievable.
it's unbelievable. Last time they played was at NG Stadium. Giants were 13.5 point favorites and Dogs won by 27. For me, that's the most random win of the season. Like I had
Mm,
no I had no idea how the Dogs won by that many. They kicked a bunch of
yeah,
behinds as well. Like they dominated that game. Yeah.
yeah.
Weird one. The line for this is 12 and a half. Western Bulldog are favorites. I'm on the Dogs. I
What
might
the
retire
fuck?
that bit. Sorry, man.
Yeah,
I might
I don't want
retire
to
that
hear that
bit.
again. Yeah.
I want the Dogs as favorites. Yeah, give me the Western Bulldogs minus points. I hate the number. I would love it to under 2 goals, but I'll still take it at 12 and a half. The Giants don't need this game, I don't think. I think if they win, they could be second.
Mm,
But I don't know, man. Like the Dogs needed to be in finals, right? So I think they're probably the more desperate team. I know it's technically a home game for them,
yeah.
but they've played in Ballarat before, I believe, this season. So I think against the Suns and they dominated. I'll have to
Mm,
double check that. But yeah, give me the Dogs just because I think that this number should be a lot closer and it isn't. So I'm just trusting the books on this, really. That's why I'm making this pick.
yeah.
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm surprised that you say that because my reading was I thought the line would be a bit bigger. I thought it'd be around the
Wow.
16 range.
Okay.
Just simply because I feel like the Dogs have the Giants figured out.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I do think the Dogs will come away with the win,
Hmm.
but Giants will keep it pretty close. Yeah, just purely based. This pick is purely based off what I thought the initial line would be, and what it actually came out to be. So yeah,
Okay. Yep.
that's my
So
reading on it.
are you on the Giants?
Yeah, on the Giants for this one. So
Yep. That's actually fair enough. Yeah. So okay, I think this should be like 8.5. So you think it would be 17 or something?
yeah, I thought it'd be around 16. Yeah.
It actually got up to 16, 17, and then it came all the way down to 12. So yeah, it's sort
Mm,
of been yo-yoing.
yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. So not really sure where the pros lean on this one, but
Mm.
yeah, give me the Dogs though. Um, moving on to Carlton St Kilda. Carlton are 4.5 point favorites. Sunday 3:20 p.m. at Marvel Stadium. Cast, what are the Saints going to dish up? What are the sorry, what are the Blues going to dish up this week?
Um, Look, it's a must win for us.
Hmm.
Obviously, we don't want to be relying on the next game for our top eight chances here. Like we want to lock it away. We've got a few young and hungry blokes in the lineup that want a taste of finals. Um, Look, I'll be surprised. I won't be surprised if Carlton aren't playing finals footy. Um, that's my call, but I'm just jumping on the Blues here simply because I feel like it's an unpredictable sort of lineup at the moment. Just our forward line, there's not really anything that you can predict, given that it's just a random bunch of blokes that have been thrown in there. And last week it worked pretty well against the shit coached Eagles, but yeah, and then I think Saints will be playing off the high of last week. I think you know might be playing a bit too overconfidently. So I've gone with the Blues here. Yeah. Yeah,
I gave
I know what your pick
I
is. I
gave
know
it
what
out.
your
I
pick.
gave it out
Yeah,
last
I know
week,
you
man.
did. I know you
I gave
did.
it out last week. Give me the Saints to win outright against Carlton. The Saints are going to win this game. Uh, you, you said it. The coach for the St Kilda is Ross Lyon, mate. Ross, you think Ross Lyon's letting that shit happen? Hell no, bro. There's no way you're gonna get away with having the worst lineup of your season again. Yeah, give me the Saints. Like I'm getting points as well. So this actually was Saints were favorites when they beat Geelong before
Mm,
Carlton played. And
yeah.
then Carlton won. So I was like, oh, I love it. I'm getting Saints
Uh,
as dogs now.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, 4.5. Love the number, but I'm picking them to win outright.
Yeah,
Um,
fair
they,
enough.
yeah, like they should. Like I'm just backing Frostline to have a better game plan than bloody Schofield or whatever. He sucks. Yeah, like it's a, it's it could be a close win. Like it's hard to imagine Carlton, missing out on finals from where they have
Mm,
been. But we've seen Carlton falter at the end before, mate.
we have, yeah. Don't need
Yep.
to bring it up. Anyways,
Huh? We could
let's move on to the next game.
Jamie Elliott. Sorry.
Sorry, my headset stopped working there for a sec there.
All right, moving on to the final game of the round.
Yeah.
Fremantle 2.5 point favorites at home versus Port Adelaide. Last time they played, Port were 20.5 point favorites. I was on Port and they only won by three. Another one of those random 20 point dogs. Um, so I'm on Freo this game. I do not understand this line. I don't understand it. Like, please help me understand. Like, I don't know, is it public money on Port? Like, why is this 2.5? This should be eight
Yeah.
and a half to 10.5. Um,
Hmm.
a couple of things as well. Like, do Port need to win? Like, if Geelong win by 20 goals or whatever, then Port, I guess, need to win to get second place. But okay, Geelong first need to win by 20 goals. And if the Giants win, then the Western Bulldogs have lost. That means Fremantle have like incentive to make the finals because the Western Bulldogs lost, right? So
Yeah.
like I don't get it. Even if it's a dead rubber, I still like Freo. Like what I don't get this number at home. The hate's gone way too far on Freo. Yeah, I know they've lost
Mm,
three in a row, but like man, come on. Like this is I don't get it at all. Like I might be stepping in it by saying this, but I don't
yeah.
know. Like give me Fremantle
Fair shout. Yeah.
easily, easily. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a really good spot for Freo. If like let's say Carlton or the Doggies lose, then they're absolutely on here. Like, they're playing for their season.
Yeah.
And everyone's expecting them to lose. Um, and then, I think also if the reason why I didn't jump on this game is if Carlton do win or like Doggies, Hawks and Carlton win, it is a dead rubber game and it's like what do they have to play for? Finding out that they're not going to be playing the four finals
Mm.
right before their game, it's to hit to their mentality. So yeah, I think that's why it's just a reason for me to stay away from it. If I was to jump on, I'd definitely jump on Freo as well if I had
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, fair enough, I guess. But I don't know. Like that's a lot has to happen for Freo not to be in with the shot. Even if it, as I said, even if it is a dead rubber, I'd still like Freo just to win against Port. I hate Port, man. I think they're pretenders.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
at Optus, 2.5 is insane to me. I don't get this at all.
Mm,
Yeah, give me Freo.
yep.
All right. So my five is North Melbourne. Sydney, Western Bulldogs, St Kilda, and Freo. So three favorites and two dogs. It's the most number of favorites I've ever picked this
Hmm.
this year. What do you think's going to happen?
Yep, I've gone with the Giants, Pies, Sydney, Cats, and Carlton. So yeah,
Yeah, not bad, not
we'll
bad. We'll
see how we
see.
go. We'll see. Yeah, it's a big round of footy out. Like, there's still a lot of ladder movement to happen,
Yeah,
this late into the season. It's crazy.
yeah,
Such
exactly.
a good season for footy, but
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, you get into all this betting stuff, and then sometimes you just forget about this is such a good sport. Like, we
yeah,
just sometimes you just gotta sit back and
exactly.
just watch the
Yeah.
game and be like, man, this is
Mm,
good to watch. So hopefully we get some crackers.
yep.
Hopefully I need to have a winning week. You need to not be last. So
Oh
there's a
fuck.
lot at stake. There's a lot at stake
Yeah,
actually.
there
So
is.
yeah, pumped. And regarding the pod next week, we'll take a break next week. No pod next week. Sorry to our three fans.
Yeah, don't be hitting us up asking where the
Don't
pod
be,
is. It
mate.
won't be
Yeah,
coming out next week.
we just know our Instagram that hasn't been created yet will be blowing up. um, but please thank you for watching today's episode. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've just launched it, so if you made it this far, then please subscribe. This will be the
Yeah.
first video up on YouTube, so very exciting for us. We're planning to go ahead with this next year, so hopefully
Hmm.
we can grow and you can be part of the journey from the very start. And mate, let's
Yep.
make some money. Let's make some money.
Exactly. Yeah. Sounds
Closing
good.
thoughts, Gus.
No, we've got a good week of footy ahead of us. Let's see how we go. See how we
All
go.
right.
Pumped. Pumped.
Yes, we're pumped. All right, guys. Thank you for joining Half a Point, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.